Welcome to the Meditation Realm, Planeswalkers. I'm Caleb, your guide to the Blind Eternities, and in today's video, we have ourselves the Commander deck from Phyrexia All Will Be One. We have the Corrupting Influence deck. This is the Phyrexian ones that are going toxic. Looking forward to going over this deck with you and kind of checking out some of these new cards. Toxic is kind of a controversial topic in Commander. It's, for the most part, Infect has never been a very good strategy for the most part. Oops, almost lost the deck there. Triumph of the Hordes is basically the main card that carries that strategy. Otherwise, Infect just really never got very far in Commander tables. These inserts have some pop-outs. You know, they got some neg 1 counters, and then the Phyrexian symbol one. Nothing else too special with this one. Per usual, some people like to use those things. They can be replaceable instead of using actual dice if you're lacking them. The Commander decks have their usual life spin wheel and a couple inserts to protect the box. Do we got any special art with this one? Let's see here. No, nothing special, just the Commander enlarged. Ixal, Scion of Phyrexia, be a little lore info. Another Angel Phyrexian in the backside. And then we've got our Commander deck. And they've got the Phyrexia All Will Be One Collector Booster sample packs that they've been putting in the Collector decks. I've been liking these these Commander decks. I've been liking these additions. They add a little extra value, I think, to the Commander decks because you get something random that's not expected, and there's a lot of goodies in the Collector boosters. I'll open this at the end and see what's the random thing we'll get, but let's go through the deck here and take a look at some of the newbies. I will be trying to build a Toxic deck to play with the play group. I'm sure a couple of them will build it as well. I think really as long as all 4 players aren't playing an Infect Toxic deck, that it shouldn't warp the meta too much, but if multiple people are playing Infect, it could definitely lead to some arbitrarily quick games. It's real quick to end it when you only have to do 10 points of damage. So first we got the Commander. The face of the deck is Ixal, Scion of Phyrexia. It's a 2/5 for 4, 1, a black, a white, and a green. It has Flying, Vigilance, and Toxic 2. And Corrupted, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters exiles the top card of their library face down. You may look at and play these cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. Okay, so some of those, usual exile, play your opponent's stuff type cards, and they've got to be corrupted to be able to do it. Right on. And it's got a decent body to be able to do so. And then we have Vishgraz, the Doom Hive. He has Menace and Toxic 1. He's a 3/3 for 2, a black, a white, and a green. When he enters the battlefield, create 3 1/1 colorless might creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. And he gets +1/+1 for each poison counter your opponents have. Nice, so this guy can get real big and just kill your opponent with Commander damage, let alone just regular Toxic damage. So, yeah, he seems pretty fun too. And then we got some good reprints, the usuals. We got Ghostly Prison, always happy to see that. Grateful Apparition, Billa Skull Dweller. So this is one of the new Toxic guys. 1/1, Death Touch. A rat, Blightbelly Rat. He has Toxic and Proliferate. Reprint, Swords of Plowshares. New card from the set, I believe. Target player draws 3 cards, loses 3 life, and gets 3 poison counters. Caress of Phyrexia. Okay. So if you need to, you can target yourself and get 3 poison counters and draw 3 cards, or give your opponent 3 poison counters and maybe. This might be a little one of the weaker ones, but it is extra poison. Ichor Rats. Ooh, they got Infect cards in here. Alright. Enters the battlefield. Each player gets a poison counter, so you get 1 too. Definitely wouldn't be the best one for everybody playing the Toxic Infect deck. Feed the Infection. You draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life, and Corrupted, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters loses 3 life. So this one hits everybody and you draw 3 if you're Corrupted. Not bad. Nice Whisper, staple black draw. Plague Stinger, more infect stuff. Seems like they got a lot that just fits the strategy of poison infect. New card, draw 2, lose 2. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Decent. 1/1 flying toxic 1. Just lots of stuff to feed that toxic infect. Beast Within, always a good reprint. Blight Mamba. Carrion Call. Cultivate. Evolution Sage. Mycosynth Fiend. +1/+1 for each poison counter your opponents have. So he can be pretty big, potentially. Noxious Revival. Let's get to some bit of the stronger reprints or new cards for just the commander decks shortly, I'm sure. That Emergence, another one of the... They put a lot of new cards from the set itself. That's pretty sweet. And from the last Mirrodin set as well, with these infect cards. Another common from the one. Moldavine Reclamation, Mortify, Putrefy. Good removal. Always good. Ramp, we got Arcane Signet, Commander Sphere, Contagion Class proliferates. Usually the way that these decks have to win out if you're going for the straight poison strategy. We have our new card, Flying First Strike. Whenever a commander you control enters the battlefield or attacks, proliferate. It's a 5/4 on a 5-drop. Yeah, that's pretty good. That'll definitely help feed the strategy strong. We have Norn's Decree, an enchantment for 2 and a white. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent control deal combat damage to you, that opponent gets a poison counter. And whenever a player attacks, if one or more players being attacked are poisoned, that player draws a card. Nice. I think this actually sees a good amount of play. It really deters people from attacking you. Definitely see it in the poison strategy. I don't know if it goes next to, general Ghostly Quarter, or not Ghostly Quarter, Ghostly Prison type effects, but maybe. And then we have Geth's Summons, 4-drop sorcery for 2 and a black. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Corrupted, for each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters as you cast this spell, put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Nice! So that can actually hit multiple creatures reanimated for 4 mana of your choice. Yeah, I'm all for that. You have a Phyrexia Outbreak, sorcery for 2 and a black. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Then each creature your opponents control get -1, -1 until end of turn for each poison counter its controller has. Okay, so potential board wipe. You're never going to give more than -9, but to be honest, they're going to be about dead if you're going to be doing that much anyways, so good. Contaminate Grafter. It's a 5/5 for 4 and a green with trample and toxic 1. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to one or more players, proliferate. And Corrupted, at the beginning of your end step, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. That seems pretty strong for your toxic strategies. Like proliferating, drawing cards, putting lands in a ramp. This seems like maybe one of the stronger toxic cards. And 5/5 trample toxic itself. Ugh. He's going to be fun. So we got Glissa's Retriever. We got a 6/6 for 5 and a green with haste and toxic 3. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And when it dies, exile it. When you do, return up to X target cards from your graveyard to your hand. Rex's number of opponents who have 3 or more poison counters. Well, cool. So you could get up to 3 cards for each opponent who's corrupted. Or a card for each opponent, so you can get maybe 3 cards off this guy in your usual commander game. Nice. And also just, haste toxic 3. Really ends the game quick. Wormquake. Sorcery, 4 and 2 green with Corrupted. Create an XX green Phyrexian worm creature token with trample and toxic 1. Where X is the amount of mana spent to cast a spell. Then for each opponent with 3 or more poison counters, you create another one of those tokens. Okay, so you could create a bunch of big tokens for toxic 1. and Trample, which can, again, end the game really quickly if they're very big. So you create 6/6s, and then you create 10/10s. Yeah, I'm all for this guy. So far, all these seem pretty strong. We have Glistening Sphere. It's a 3-drop artifact. It enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you proliferate. It's a mana rock. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. And Corrupted, it can tap to add 3 mana of any one color. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Ooh, this seems really strong, actually, because I think it might not be too hard to get a single person to 3 poison counters and just get something like this activated real quick and be able to add 3 mana on a 3 mana rock. That actually seems really strong for this strategy. Fumigate, good old reprint. Norn's Annex, another decent reprint. Phyrexian Rebirth. Windborn Muse. Painful Truths. It's okay, draw. Phyrexian Swarmlord. Scavenging Ooze. Culling Ritual. Merciless Eviction. Chromatic Lantern. Always glad to see the lanterns in the commander decks. Great mana rock. These are our lands now. We got our Canopy Vista, an Orchard. Seems to be in every commander deck. You get an exotic Orchard. Fortified Village. Karn's Bastion. Nice land to have. Proliferate on lands, always good. Necroblossom Snarl. Shine Shadow Snarl. Not saying that 10 times fast. Sungrass Prairie. Temple of Malady. Temple of Plenty. Temple of Silence. All of the temples. So, alright, another mana rocks. Felwar Stone, Golgari Signet. Grafted Exoskeleton. This card can definitely be gross to be on the opposing side of. Ichorclaw Myrrh. Plague Myrrh. Soul Ring. Trailblazer's Boots. Bojuku Bog. Command Tower. Croson Verge. Myriad Landscape. Path of Ancestry. Sandstep Citadel. Canker Bloom. Tainted Field. They definitely mixed up the common lands and artifacts kind of interestingly. Expand the sphere. More cards from the one set itself. They put a lot of commons and uncommons from the actual set into the commander deck. I'm surprised. Noxious Assault. Unnatural Restoration. Venomous Brutalizer. Mirror Convert. Phyrexian Atlas. And then I think it's just basic lands and tokens now. We got our thick face for the commander, and then yeah, all the different counters. They gave you 4 poison counters because you're gonna poison yourself and everybody else, just in case they thought of it. Right on. I think this will be interesting to play. You know, I don't think anything's gonna get banned from this. I've heard talk. I watched the video with one of the rules committee people on the the main commander channel, and I don't think anything's going to get banned. Triumph of the Horde is like the most problematic card with this strategy, and unless multiple people are going toxic, I don't think it's really going to matter either way. So, let's see what lucky we get with this collector sample pack. Looking to see if it has a tear notch. Sometimes these things are easier to get open than others. This one doesn't seem too bad. Sometimes they can be a pain. Alright, how lucky can we get in our collector's sample? We have a Filigree Silex and the Borderless, and a Cankerbloom, and that Phyrexian art style foil uncommon. Okay. You know, there's a lot of, if you haven't watched any collector booster boxes openings, they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of great looking art cards in there and a lot of value in this set. Thank you for joining me, Planeswalkers. Always glad to have you here. like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you here again soon.